Hey guys, what's going on? James here. Big news from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they are waiving defensive tackle Desmond Watson per Greg Auman of Fox Sports. Now, Watson had actually been on the football illness list all of training camp. You guys remember, he wasn't practicing in training camp, he wasn't playing in the preseason games because the Bucs had a weight goal for him and he did not hit that weight goal, so he could not practice or play until he hit that goal. He never did hit that goal, apparently. So had needed to get his weight down, could have moved him to the reserve NFI list. So what we talked about this in a live stream, by the way. The reserve NFI list is the non-football and injury list. Basically, what would have happened is that players on the reserve non-football injury list are ineligible to practice or play in games for the first 6 weeks of the regular season. Okay, that's the first caveat there. Secondly, after 6 weeks, a player can begin practicing with their team, but cannot be moved to the active roster until after the team has played its first 8 games of the season. When a player starts practicing, a 3-week window begins in which the player can be moved to the active roster. If a player does not get activated after the 3-week window ends, they must remain on the reserve NFI list for the rest of the season. Now, this to me definitely feels like the Bucs were not confident that Desmond Watson, they just didn't feel like there was much of a point in that, I suppose. So Almond said, like, yeah, they could have done that, but they'll cut him outright. Not going to the practice squad at the moment. So it is interesting, a little bit wording there from Greg at the end where it's saying, hey, not at the moment, maybe later. But right now, I am curious to see, like, is Watson still going to be in contact with the Bucs going forward? Is he going to join another team's practice squad? I don't know. We don't know where he's at with his weight. We don't know where he's at with his conditioning. We don't really know anything about where Watson is at right now. All we know is where the Bucs are at, and they're moving forward without him. Shout out to Alex here, Cub99, who says, I seriously don't get why he was allowed to play SEC football, but can't make it in the NFL. Genuine question. Greg said one has different standards than the other. That's all. So it does raise the question to me of, like, why in the world did they sign Desmond Watson in the first place? Now, I understand that he was out there for, like, rookie mini camps and voluntary mini camps and stuff like that. So maybe after they saw him in those moments, they decided, might not be the right fit going forward, or he isn't hitting these weight goals. But then why not just cut him then? You could have had somebody else practicing and playing and getting reps at multiple positions. So I don't know, just a weird way the Buccaneers handled the situation, in my opinion. What do you guys think? But also the Buccaneers did cut wide receiver Dennis Houston. He has been let go. He missed the end of the preseason with injuries. It is what it is. Amon does note that there are 10 moves left to get to the 53. 6 to 7 of them will be wide receivers and defensive backs. Let's take a quick look at the Buccaneers depth chart just to see where we're at with everything. So, wide receiver, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin are still on the roster. McMillan is on the IR, so he will not count. Emeka Ibuka is there. Trey Palmer is still there. Tez Johnson is still there. Raheem Jarrett is still there. No, sorry, Raheem Jarrett was let go. Apologies. Sterling Shepard is still there. Dennis Houston was let go. Jacob Harris was let go. So at wide receiver, you have got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Ibuka, Tez Johnson, Trey Palmer, Sterling Shepard. You have got Garrett Green. You have got Cameron Johnson, and you have got Ryan Miller. Those are the 9 receivers left that you have in that room. So, again, according to Amon, 6 to 7 moves left. You assume 3 of those moves are probably going to be wide receiver. Your offensive line, I think, is done. Tristan Wirfs is there, Ben Bredesen, Graham Barton, Cody Mock, Luke Gedeke. Those are your 5 starters. Charlie Heck made it. Benjamin Chukwuma made it. Lorenz Metz is on the roster, but he is a roster exception because he is an international player. Elijah Klein made it as a guard center hybrid. Mike Jordan, I believe, has pretty much made it at this point. After that, I think that's it. You've got your 5 starters. 1, 2, 3, 4 backup offensive linemen, including Lorenz Metz as your 5th backup offensive lineman. So technically 10 offensive linemen total. Right now, you're at 4 tight ends: Cade Otton, Payne Durham, Ko Keefe, and Devin Culp. At quarterback, currently you're at 3. Could change. I always want to check Twitter just to make sure if things have changed. Running back, you're currently at 4. Bucky Irving, Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and Josh Williams. May keep 4 going forward. We're going to have to wait and see. Defensive line, you have Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea, Logan Hall. I think CJ Brewer is still on this roster. Let me check the notes real quick. So CJ Brewer is still here. Greg Gaines is still here. Adam Gotsis is still here. That's 6 defensive linemen right now. Eric Banks was let go. Devon J. Thomas was let go. Mike Green was still let go. Elijah Roberts is still there, so there's 7 defensive linemen. Nash Hutchmacher was let go as well. So you have 7 defensive linemen still here. They could very well cut one more defensive lineman. But 7 might be what they go with. Outside linebacker, you're at 5. Yaya Diaby, Hassan Reddick, Chris Braswell, Anthony Nelson, and Marquise Watts are your 5. Jose Ramirez and Warren Peoples were let go. Inside linebackers, Levante David, Servastier Dennis, Deion Jones. Right now, Antonio Greer Jr. and John Bullock. Cornerback, you still have some decisions to be made there. You've got Dean, McCollum, Morrison, Parrish. Josh Hayes is still there because Bryce Hall got let go. Kindle Vidor, Roman Parody, Funderburk, and Javian Farr are all still there as well. Finally, Winfield Jr., Tyke Smith, Christian Izzian, Kayvon Merriweather, and Rashad Wisdom are still there in the safety room. So there's still a couple more moves that can be made around, but we're just going to have to wait and see, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Desmond Watson being let go. I'd love to hear it down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.